Hi everybody, welcome to my December budget with me video. So I did start my December budget in either a previous video or the beginning of this video. I'm not sure how I'm going to edit everything together yet. Today is November 25th, which is my second payday of the month, and I do my budgets from paycheck to paycheck. So my December budget is actually November 25th through December 24th. So today we got my first paycheck and we're just going to kind of go through the budget and make sure everything looks good for the month, or at least this pay period. So there are some changes from the last recording. Let's just kind of go through things. So I did get my raise, so I'm anticipating that my two checks will now be $21.57, whereas previously I was paid $20.55. So about $100 a check more, which is fantastic. An additional $200 a month, which my goal is to throw at debt or savings, because I want to get to that $1,000 emergency fund. So, end of month report, we're not really going to look at this category right now. Those are all just kind of formulas that by the end of December should show me what I'm spending my money on. So let's look at pending transactions. In my bank, I did send my dad $222, which went towards my debt that I owe him. No, actually rent. My rent, and also for a Tucker for his flea medication. So we'll get to that down here a little bit later, but that's pending. It hasn't gone through yet. I also registered for a color guard, which saved me a little bit of money because I budgeted $100 for that and it was only $75. So it's pending. Once it actually goes through, I will cross this off. And then the last item is, I did Zelle a retirement contribution, $10 towards a retirement gift for someone in my office. We got her a gift card. So those are all pending right now. All right, so let's just kind of look at what we've got going on here. My emergency fund, I'm not putting money toward that specifically during this first paycheck of the month. Hopefully in my second paycheck I'll be able to do that. From November, I did have $150 though that was rolling over from savings last month that I'm going to put towards this balance. For right now, I am just going to have it in cash on hand so that if I end up having any issues, I can have the cash ready to use. And then at the end of the month, I'll put whatever is available in my bank account here. I also do have some cash in the box right now that I need to deposit. I haven't gone to the bank yet, but I'm going to. And I'm going to withdraw $470, which is going to cover all of these cash items here for what's coming up in the next 2 weeks. Not too many changes from my last video, but I did go ahead and take off. I had budgeted, I think, $250 for a family event for Thanksgiving. I was going to get a hotel room and have some spending money, but I only live 45 minutes from where we're going to be, and I decided I would much rather move that money and apply it towards an oil change rather than prolonging the oil change. And I only live 45 minutes away, so I can still go and participate and have a good time, but not get a hotel room that would be really expensive. For just me by myself, it wasn't quite worth it. So I had to sleep on it, but I ultimately made that decision. So that went away. I brought my oil change up, so I'll be doing that in a couple of days. So this is I'm kind of at a standstill until I actually withdraw the cash and some of these payments go through. There's a lot of things happening today because I've got auto payments or I've already made the payments, but it hasn't quite gone through yet. One thing that's happened though is my phone did come out. Yep, yesterday my phone bill went through, so that is always a fun surprise. So we are going to gray that out. It's not pending because it did go through, and we were just going to add it to my fixed bills here for my phone bill. So it was $110.47, just as expected. All right. Tonight I'm having dinner with a friend, so I will check back in when I've got some updates for you. That was one other change. I called because I wasn't sure in the last video how much my oil changes would be, so I budgeted $350, and I called and confirmed it was $220 plus tax to prepay for 4 oil changes. And then I looked at the last time I did it, which was last December, so it's been almost a year, and I spent about $241 after tax. So I just put in $250 for my projected forecast, and there'll probably be a little bit of savings there, which will be great because it'll just give me a little bit of more, some mad money. So all of these expected expenses will total $2157.09. My check is $2157.61 for the month. For the pay period, I have $72, which is kind of my slush fund. If I have an unexpected meal out, or I want to give a gift or whatever, it's kind of what happened last month is I didn't really have any of that money, and so it was chaotic. But this month I'm giving myself that buffer so that if I need to go over in any categories, I can pull from there first to bring it back up to balance. So that's a good kind of stopping point. I am going to check back in when I have an update. All right, I'm back. It's a few hours later. I've gone to the bank and withdrawn my cash. So I kind of use like a variation of a cash envelope system. I don't actually use envelopes, but I calculate how much cash I'm going to use over the next 2 weeks in my expense forecast. I kind of just look at my calendar, plug things in, determine which ones I'm using cash for. That's what these dark green boxes are, and which ones I'm just going to use my debit card for. So I calculate how much cash I will need, and then I get that out, and then I only use cash for those expenses. Usually it's gas and dining out. Sometimes it's entertainment and a few other things. So I added all this up and saw that I needed $460 from the bank. So of that, I was putting $88 toward my emergency fund. So that's what this 88 up here is. So let's go ahead and do the 88 plus 62, I think is how we got there. So I had $62 in my wallet, and I had $82. No, I had $62 in my wallet and $88 in the bank. So I had $150 that I was actually able to put into my emergency fund. I also had an extra $14 cash that I had saved from a previous month, and I had $28 of coins that I rolled, which I also just put it all in at my emergency fund. So my new balance is, so I am $8 shy of $600 towards my emergency fund, which feels fantastic. Next, I just got back from dinner with my friend Sarah, and I had budgeted 40, but I only spent 25. So I'm just gonna say cash, Sarah dinner. I budgeted 40 and I only used 25. So I got $15 that is extra. Which at this point I have to decide, do I add that number to the 72 right now, or do I let this, yeah, I think I will leave it, because if I change this, yeah, maybe I should. Okay, so I had $72 plus 15. All right, I did take this money out at the ATM, so I'm gonna cross that off as well. And I took that money out from the ATM and deposited it. And I withdrew that. So basically I'm graying out what's done so I can see what's still coming. This I did pay, but it's pending, so I'm gonna leave it here until it goes through. Card payment I paid, I'm just waiting for it to go through. Rent I paid, I'm waiting for it to go through. My color guard dues I paid, but I'm waiting for them to go through. And I sent that money. I did move this Tucker fee. It was over here, but it's not really savings. It is kind of a debt, so I moved it here. So for Tucker's fund, $72. Again, I've sent it. I'm just waiting for it to go through. And that will bring me to tomorrow, where I have dinner plans with friends. I'm getting my oil changed. So it's a pretty good start to the month. Hey everybody, so it's been a few days since my last entry, and it is the last day of November, so I thought it would be a good time to stop and kind of check in with the budget, plug in some receipts, and see where we're at. I've got my receipts that I keep in this little guy in my bag. I also keep gift cards in here so that they're kind of top of mind, and hopefully I can reach for them when I'm at one of those stores. So let's see here. Got all the cash out of there. Okay, so we've got some of these to plug in. I'm also going to look at my banking app. So let's do that first. When we left off, I had a few items that were sitting in pending status. So by now, they should have gone through. My payment to Dad went through. So that was going to be, let's see, it was the 25th. So that was my debt payment. I make two payments to him, one for rent and one for debt. Rent is under fixed bills. I usually pay that on the 25th check of the month so that I feel like I'm paying rent for the following month. And then the other paycheck, I pay $150 towards debt. So I gave him $150 to that. And then the other $72 was for Tucker's fund. So these add up to the $222 transaction to my dad. And I think I mentioned in my last video, I moved Tucker over from savings to debt because I was kind of paying my dad back for buying stuff. We've got the $10 retirement gift, so that would be under gifts and giving. We'll just call it Kim Retirement. I didn't budget for it, so this has to come out of somewhere. $10. What I think I'll do is I'll take it out of Mad Money. So I'm going to make that $77. And I'm going to say that I budgeted $10. So I basically am taking $10 from my extra wiggle room money and putting it over here. That way it doesn't show up as an overage. I used money that I had. I think last month when I got really out of sorts, it's because I had some extra money over here, but then I was going negative in categories and I didn't really reconcile or move stuff around to make it work. I just need to rework the budget is what I have to do. So that's that $10. Oh. It's not the 10th, so Timothy. All right, so that was rent for $150 because it was the 25th paycheck. Sorry, wow. All right, we got $150 here. We got $72 here. This will come later. My sister did send me $200 to go towards the parents' gift, so I am going to. It's kind of extra, so I'm gonna put hers. How do I want to do this? I mean, she gave me the money, so I guess I should put it here as income because it came into my account. We're going to do that. We'll just say from Jamie. 200. And then we're going to put it here towards that savings. Then I got a refund. I had ordered something online and I ended up requesting. So I ordered something, and then it a few days later went on like a Black Friday sale of 60% off. So I contacted the company, and I'll have another video about that. So I won't go into too many details right now. But ultimately, I got $80 refunded to make up for that discount. So I'm just gonna say rebate $80, and that's just extra money coming into my account. So what I will do is I'm gonna add that to my Mad Money because I've got nothing to do with it yet. At the end of the month, whatever I have extra will go towards debt, but for right now I'm just adding it to Mad Money, and that's because I know I went over already, so I'm just setting it aside for now. Okay, so now we've got my Rainbow City Color Guard dues, so that was $75 that came out. Those were dues. I'm just going to put it down here under entertainment because it's something that I do for fun. So I'm just going to say color guard dues. Now I had budgeted $100 for this, but I only spent $75. So that means I am saving $75, which feels really good. So guard dues right there. And if I wanted, I could like put a note like under budget, but I don't know. I think I'm just gonna not. But that would be a good spot to put that note if I wanted to. But I think this will be fine. I can see right here that I was able to save $25. Rent I paid, that was the $150. I'm a little out of sorts. Don't mind me jumping all over the place here. And then that also was paid. Wow. I'm not super structured. Okay. One of my Tovala meals came out, so that one was only $63.94. I budget $75 per week, so I was able to come in a bit under budget here. At the end of the month, I will see what that looks like. Last month, it was $27 that I saved over the course of the month. So this will probably be, obviously, as long as I don't go over any other weeks, I should be under here as well. Okay, my car payment came through, $642.62, and that is right here. All right, and then a friend of mine paid me $35 to check on her cat, so I'm just gonna put that in here as extra money. So again, we've got another few bucks that I'm saving. I had my oil changes, and I budgeted $250, but it came in a bit over budget because I guess the price went up. I called them and asked how much is it to pre-purchase 4 oil changes, and they told me $220, like $224 or something like that plus tax. And then I looked at my banking from last year when I did this last time in December, and it came to like $241. So I thought, great, I'll budget $250, have a few extra bucks at the end of that transaction, and then it came to $265.72 because I guess the prices went up. So that's too bad. This would be, I don't have a category yet. So right now, entertainment is kind of my miscellaneous, if it doesn't fit anywhere else, put it there, zone. So even though getting my oil changed is certainly not entertainment, I'm gonna rationalize it by saying that I use my car for entertainment to get places. So that's what the oil change is gonna go, just for this month until I get a category for it. So I budgeted $250, but it was $265.72. So I'm negative $15.72. I did do a subscription. It's only an annual one, so rather than adding it to subscriptions, I'm going to put it here in our entertainment. It's called The Sims Tree. I really like playing The Sims, and I will have a video on my Sims channel about that, but ultimately I subscribe to this online family tree service so that I can make family trees in their program rather than in the game because it's kind of broken in the game. Anyway, it's an annual subscription of $20. I'm just going to pay it under entertainment rather than a subscription because it's not going to do it again until a year from now. And it's also $20, so it's not really worth doing a sinking fund for it. I think I'm just going to make a note that this will happen in November next year and then do it out of entertainment again. But that's another $20 that I went over budget because I didn't budget for it. So we're going to subtract that from this number as well. And then I should just make a note. I think the Sims tree is here under my like coming. I'm going to make a note for next November so that I can not be surprised next year when that happens. All right. Oh, and then McDonald's. Here we go. This guy that's been up here for a little while, $13.25. And McDonald's also was not on my budget. This is kind of what I've budgeted for, and then things that are not in the budget I'm going to do as a negative. So I did not budget to go to McDonald's and spend $13.25. So it's negative. So I'm going to come up here again and subtract $13.25. All right, now we are into the new pending transaction. So I'm not going to really put these down here yet. I want to wait till they actually go through. Parking in Centralia. What did I do? Got it. My family went to the Great Wolf Lodge. And it was $20. So that, like, when on a previous video, I had budgeted like $250 or $300 for like a family weekend, and I was going to get a hotel room and have spending money, so I budgeted a lot, but then I kind of reworked the budget and decided I'd rather get my oil changed, and I only live like an hour away, so there's no sense in getting a hotel room for the night, so I took that out of the budget. But I didn't give myself any spending money, so this $20 is going to have to come out of this mad money as well. So So that's what that was. And then I went to Goodwill yesterday. Is that one word? I think so. And I spent $84.94. As you can see, I've got some books to show for it. But I also did not budget for that, so that's going to have to come out of my Mad Money. I budgeted for the gas and the theater tickets to go to Portland, but I did not plan on a shopping spree. But I've got the money, so it's okay. Alright, so that brings me up to date on my app. Now I've got some receipts to plug in, and these I don't have to put in pending because it's done. Well, for the most part. Here's my Goodwill receipt. So because I've got that noted here, I'm going to go ahead and toss this. The amount matches the receipt that's on my pending statement, so I trust that that will shake out okay. This is my parking ticket for the Great Wolf Lodge, but this doesn't have a price on there, and it's just like my pass to scan, so I'll toss that. Alright. A little handmade receipt. I spent $6 on concessions yesterday at the theater, so that will come out of entertainment. Door County concessions. Did not budget for that. It was $6, so I'm going to subtract that from my Mad Money. My Pals Books receipt. That I did pay cash, so I can just do it, and that's going to be entertainment because it was definitely entertaining. So that total came to $85.96. So I had like two pretty big spends, but I have the money in my budget that I can pull from, so it's okay. So I did not budget for it. Oops, don't need caps locks. And that was $85.96. So we are going to make both of those red because I was naughty, and then we're going to subtract that from up here. Okay. So Pals is done, and then what's this guy? Chevron, gas. I got gas. Okay, so that will be right up here. I did cash. I try to remember when I use cash to put that in here, just so I know. It doesn't really matter, but I try to remember. Chevron. I budget $60 every time I fill up my tank, and this came to $53.31. So I saved $6.69. And I'm going to add that to my Mad Money. Okay. All right. So I also did give my friends the $20 for dinner. We got takeout. We had cheeseburgers, and I gave them $20. So I'm going to put that in here. And it was cash. I budgeted 20 and I gave them 20, so that one worked out, and I'm gonna grade that out. I did not go see Zootopia, so my family ended up, we kind of like had two different dinner plans on Thanksgiving, and they were both at about the same time. So originally, we didn't have any plans on Thanksgiving, so I thought, well, I'll see the movie, and then whatever we do to eat, we'll eat. And the movie was at like 1:45, so I thought surely that's early enough. Well, then my mom and dad and I made dinner reservations at 3 to go to dinner. And then my sister-in-law decided to cook randomly. And so the day of, it was like 12 o'clock or something like that. And we had two sets of dinner plans, plus I was trying to go to a movie. So I was like, I don't know if the movie's going to happen. And they only had one showing at my little theater. I could have driven into the bigger city, but I didn't want to spend the gas or the money because $20 would have gotten me a theater ticket and lots of snacks. It would have been a full experience at this theater. But if I'd gone into town, $20 would have been like my ticket probably, or like one soda or something like that. So anyway, that doesn't matter. So I was like, okay, I'll go to Zootopia later. And then we ended up canceling the dinner reservations because why spend money to go out if my sister-in-law is making a feast? And so sure enough, the food was delicious. We had plenty for everybody. There was lots of leftovers in the fridge. But all of that to say, I did not make it to Zootopia. So, and I don't really have plans to. The weekend is pretty much over. So maybe I'll go in the week. So I'm going to leave that because maybe I'll get a wild hair and go after work one day or something like that. We'll see. But potentially that's $20 more that can go into my Mad Money because I didn't spend it. But I'm going to leave it for right now. This is that one transaction that came out right here. This is the gas that I did. So we will X that out. That's this gas right here. And then when we went to Portland yesterday, my friend Janelle bought dinner. So she was really sweet, and she said because I drove, she was going to cover dinner. So I think mine was only like 26 bucks, so I would have had some savings anyway. But she paid for everything. So I'm going to put this $40 towards my mad money and my pals trip, really. Nope, not 400. That'd be nice. And we're gonna add that here. I would add like dinner, Portland. I budgeted 40, spent 0, so now I've got green. But I don't really want to use a slot for that, and I'm already accounting for it in the Mad Money anyway. So I'm gonna delete this just because I want to leave that for. Last month I pretty much filled up all of the standing out, so I just want to leave the space to use. All right, so that kind of brings me current. I've got a Zootopia trip that I could potentially make this week. I've got $100 that I need to put towards my parents' gifts. I just need to buy something in December. I've got two more full tanks of gas before payday, which is honestly in 10 days, and I don't think that I'm going to need 2 full tanks, but I'm going to leave it there. And then we've got one more Tovala happening. So otherwise, I don't really have much else. I don't think I have much going on my calendar. Yeah, so I've got another dinner tonight, actually. So I'm gonna put this in the budget right now, though. So I'm going to take out $40. So there's that 40. I'm just gonna get rid of that, and I'm gonna budget it for dinner tonight. My friend Janelle and I are going to see another play tonight. So we're gonna have dinner afterwards. So I don't think I'll spend that much, but I want to give myself that wiggle room. So all right, so here's where we're sitting. I've got just under $200 of mad money to spend on whatever I want if things come up. I don't have much going on in the next week though, so that a lot of that probably will go towards my emergency fund. I'm trying to really find a balance of living a comfortable, enjoyable life while tackling these bills and debts that I've been avoiding for a long time. So I think I'm doing okay so far. We're a couple months in, but it could be better. But I'm learning as I go, and I'm comfortable with the decisions I've made, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, hey everybody, I'm back to enter in a few more receipts, and then my next video will be budget with me for my second paycheck in December. So I'm logged into my app just to add a few more pending transactions. It looks like we still have the parking and my Goodwill adventure. I went to Goodwill again because I cannot help myself. This is so fun with my friend. So that is pending, and I'm gonna need to pull that from my Mad Money as well. So looks like we got 197, but a couple of big guys are coming out of there. Is that as well? Yeah. So all of this, that's pretty much the amount. Let's see what else is going on here. I also purchased some theater tickets to go see the play Little Women, or the musical Little Women, which I love. So that will also come from Mad Money. And at this point, I might be running low on Mad Money. So we'll just see once these get reconciled. But I got a couple of tickets for that show. And then also pending is my Paramount Plus subscription. And that is budgeted, so that won't have to come out of my Mad Money. Okay, so those are all pending. We will sort that all out once those go through. I had dinner the other day after we went to see a play yesterday. We got dinner and my budget was $40 and I spent $40. I think it came to 30 and I tipped 10. So that was we went to North End and I did pay cash. So I budgeted 40, oops, not 410. That'd be a spendy dinner. And I spent 40, so that is that. Okay, this is my second Goodwill receipt. So I've kind of got that pending. Okay. Then I got gas a couple of times, and I'm just going to put these together because it was the same day. I just wanted to get a little bit to get home so that I could get gas where I actually like to go. So I'm just going to put the two receipts together. And I put 10 in at the first place and then 53.92. So we're going to say 63.92. And I budget 60. So I did go over a little bit, but I was short the last time. So we are going to come over to the Mad Money and subtract that 3.92. Okay, so those are the two gas receipts, and that covers this gas. Does it? Am I a little early? We're just a little early for this gas. The good news is I'm not doing much driving in the next few days, so I don't think I'm gonna, you know, in 8 days I might need to get a full tank again, but I don't think I'm gonna go through a full tank. We'll see. I do have to go up to Seattle, so we'll see. I might end up getting a full tank, but alright, so that just kind of plugs in the last couple of transactions. We got a few things pending. Hopefully they'll come off tomorrow. I'm probably going to end up canceling this Zootopia to give me 20 more bucks into my Mad Money, but I'm going to wait and do that. That is bringing us current. I'm going to wrap the video here. In my next video, I will do my expense forecast for my next paycheck, where I'll do all of this again and look ahead at the next 2 weeks. So I will see you then.